I don't know if you can hear me, but hello. All right. Because I've got the wrong stream up. Hi, Deucey Deuce, Recia, Liz. Just Celestial, welcome. Let me get my stream all straightened out. I don't ever do this. This is so weird that I did this. I thought I had clicked in, but some reason it was the wrong stream. Okay, let me check my YouTube channel, make sure it's right. I hope you guys are having a good afternoon. Um, there are so many things. Wow, big week coming up for True Crime Community, but it is not showing. For some reason, it's not showing the proper. Oh well, we'll power through. How about that? Okay, here we go. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow is Monday, February the 6th, which is as if we, didn't needed anything more to talk about in this whole true crime community thing. We got another big case that's coming up. So Tristan Bailey's, the prosecution of her murderer, her accused murderer, his name is Aiden Fucci, and that trial starts tomorrow. It's in Florida, and it will be, they are starting with jury selection. Because Aiden was a minor at the time of the murder, their death penalty will not be on the table. So the prosecution has elected to go with a 6-person jury. So the judge was kind of thinking that they might have a jury seated by Tuesday, maybe Wednesday morning. And so I think the prosecutor and the judge are ready to get the show on the road. I think that they're finished, with this whole case, and they just want the technicalities over with. The attorney that is representing Aiden, I think it seems like she might be a bit, maybe she doesn't have a lot of experience in this level of this type of prosecution, right? It's kind of reminded me of Mark. What was his name? Lori Vallow's first attorney, Mark Meadows. No, not Mark Meadows. Mark. Do y'all remember his name? She kind of reminds me of him. Not that I think she's, not smart or anything like that, but more like just gimmicky, kind of like she doesn't really feel confident how to move forward. Means. Thank you guys. Thank you, Summer's Truth. Thank you, Cali Connect. Yes, how could I forget Mark Means, right? So in all reality, all truth, Mark Means probably a really great attorney for cases that he's got experience and training for, right? I mean, he wasn't death penalty certified. He certainly was not prepared to deal with, that potential personality disorder of Lori Vallows. And so I kind of get that feeling with Aiden Fuki's attorney. Not that she's Mark Means, but more of the line that she just seems like a bit overwhelmed by the case itself. And as Brent said, it's a slam dunk, right? This is one of those cases, it's someone else's to lose, right? Hey, hello, Liza. It's good to see you. Jackie Hughes. Hey, DB. Hi, Diane. Irene, welcome. Hola, ¿cómo estás? So, but still, it is a case, the family is entitled to have their prosecution, right? I mean, this is important. She was well loved. She was a very active young woman. It was It's a nightmare. It's every mom's worst nightmare. It's back with the whole Kylie Rodney nightmare level, right? Now then, I want to hold on because I want to put some links up here. Yes, right here. Okay, so criminality, copy. Criminality, the YouTube channel, Criminality, Teresa, if y'all know who I'm talking about. You probably do. She's awesome. Okay, so there's the link if you haven't been there. And mods, if y'all will copy and paste that throughout the live, I would appreciate that just to direct people because they are going to be covering the case. Okay, so criminality, and that is Teresa and Mi Amor Michelle. And every time I say her name, I go to that old Beatles song, right? Michelle, my belle. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Okay. So the two of them will be covering the case, and then Peach Jam, who is a regular in their community. Peach Jam will actually be at the trial. Okay, so she'll be in there in person starting from day one. So that's kind of your avenue to get immediate up to date information and discussion and whatnot about this case. The Murdoch case is just still going on, and I don't know how. Like I've got some stuff related to Koberger that I wanted to talk about. I'm just feeling overwhelmed. It just seems like there's so many cases, and it's, what do you cover? Like, how do you make your choice to do it justice, right? I mean, it's kind of boring to just sit and read the news. You guys are intelligent. You can go read the news yourselves. You don't need me to do that. So trying to develop some level of insight and make a video that other people are not, with some new information that maybe other people hadn't hit on. It's kind of hard to do it. It's kind of hard to have the time to listen and think about it and come up with some ideas. So anyway, I hope you guys will, like I said, there's the link. I hope the mods will copy it and then paste it, throughout the live today. And then Peach Jam will be in the courtroom. Criminality and Mia Moore, Michelle will be covering it. I mean, I'm going to do some on it. It just won't be like day to day, because y'all know how work has been too. I've been really busy. And that's that, right? It is a horrendous case. It's terrifying. Every mother in America, we sit on pins and needles on Friday night waiting for our kids to come home because things are not normal anymore. People are going crazy, and it's hard to know what's making them crazy. I mean, there are people that blame the breakdown of the family. There's people that blame the loss of religious observance. There's people that blame drugs and alcohol. I mean, we can blame it on 10 million different things, but all of that is really just kind of theory and conjecture. It doesn't change the reality of the danger of the moment that we're in our culture. And so, it's really sad what happened to Tristan. The other thing I wanted to bring up, and I'll do a link for that too. Where is it? Right here. Copy. Okay, so AK, paste. So there is the other link, and this is the link for AK Rocks. Let me share this because this is pretty exciting. So AK has a show that will be going on tonight, and he will have a guest on tonight. It is Mr. Walters, who is an He is a veteran as well as a former FBI special agent with more than 24 years of experience in investigations. Much of his work included bank fraud, investment fraud, public corruption. We need him to understand the Murdaugh crap, right? It was crazy. Violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Mr. Walters specialized in surveillance and technology. He was one of the first agents assigned to the Whitewater investigation of the Rose Law Firm with Bill and Hillary Clinton. He was also responsible for the conviction of the governor of Arkansas at the time, Jim Guy Tucker, I think, as well as his wife, if I remember correctly. Before that, Mr. Walters was a certified, technically trained agent, and he served in the Chicago and Little Rock offices of the FBI, wiretapping phones and planting and tracking listening devices in support of major investigations. A 15-year-old cold case murder mystery involving a young teenage female was solved as a result of Mr. Walters' work. He was the lead investigator in a 2-year undercover operation, which was Operation Broken Star, and that led to the conviction of 7 rogue Chicago police officers. Mr. Walters was awarded the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce Excellence in Law Enforcement Award. He's the real deal. He wasn't just a cop for a couple of years and then decided to go on TV. He's the real deal. His final 5 years with the FBI were spent in the supervisory special agent position with the Operational Technology Division. He was first with the Technical Liaison Unit working with some of the leading technology companies in the world, and he was the last with the Super Secret TAC Ops Electronic Access Group. Mr. Walters is one of a handful of agents in the FBI that were trained on how to defeat any alarm system or electronic access technology manufactured at the time of the training. Additionally, Mr. Walters has 23 years experience as a firearms and defensive tactics instructor. He has 14 years in the Special Weapons and Tactics program as an observer sniper. He was also a member of the FBI's National Art Crime Team. Mr. Walters leverages his extensive background and expertise to provide top-notch investigative services through his veteran-owned, licensed, insured, and bonded private investigation firm, Excalibur Investigations. Excalibur Investigations is based in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It was established in 2005. It is a full-service company that is a trusted source for reliable and sound investigative solutions. Mr. Walters is a member of the Society of Former Special Agents of the FBI and a professional private investigator, the Professional and Private Investigators Association of Colorado. Whew, that was an awful lot. He's been a busy guy. All right, so that will be tonight. With AK Rocks, and so we have his link. So we have that link in the. You can't hear anything? Ah! Why can you not hear anything? If you can hear me, put a 1. You have to be able to hear me because people answered means a while ago. I can hear. I have sound. Thank you. It scared me. Okay. Wow. I was fixing to go, no, don't make me do it all again. Okay. All right. So thank you, Honey K. Thank y'all. Okay. All right. So that is going to be an incredibly great show. Correct? So, Vicky is having trouble with her sound. Okay. I'm sorry, Vicky. All right. So two very important links. I want to keep criminalities link out for tomorrow, and the Tristan Bailey prosecution, Tristan Bailey's murder. The trial begins tomorrow. Jury selection. The accused is Aiden Fucci, and he was a minor at the time of the murders, and therefore uh, death penalty is not on the table. So they will have 6 people on the jury. So they're looking to have a jury placed by the end of day Tuesday. Okay, that's what they said the other day in court. Well, I guess it was January 20th. They had a court date. So that is a case I've been waiting on, looking forward to. So criminality, Mia Moore, Michelle will be covering it, and their subscriber, Peach Jam, will be in the courtroom every day and bringing us, up-to-date information that we won't be able to see otherwise. I do believe that it is going to be broadcast. Crime, I can't remember which channel it's going to be on. I'm looking. Stay with me. Court TV. Court TV. In fact, they just posted an update on the docket. Sounds like Scott Rice. Hold on, and I'll share on the docket. Vinny will be covering it. Okay, but we'll have Peach Jam will be in the courtroom, and that will give us a really cool extra perspective, right? So criminality, post her link, please, y'all. If you're not subscribed, go over there and subscribe, and you'll know where to go for the most update information. And then for tonight, 6 o'clock Texas time, I'm not sure what your location is, but if you go to AK Rocks' channel, paste, there is AK's link. If you'll go to AK Rocks' channel right now, go to his channel, subscribe, hit notifications, then it will tell you what time he's starting in your time zone. So in Texas time, it's going to be 6 o'clock. Colorado time, it's going to be 5 o'clock. East Coast is going to be 7 o'clock. And California will be, is that 4 o'clock? California time? I think. Okay. Good deal, Micha. Yeah, he doesn't post very often. But when he does, there's such good topics. He's had some really, really great interviews, and especially if you've been involved in the Suzanne Morphew case, it's amazing. It'll be interesting to know if Barry, not behind bars, will be listening to that tonight. I suspect he will. I suspect that he will. All right. Hey, Liz, welcome. Hey, Yvette. I am glad you're here too. It's wonderful. Okay. So now then, let me get so everybody got the link to AK ready for the live tonight. He is going to have an FBI agent, more than 25-year history with law enforcement, not on television. Okay. So should be really, really great to listen to. Should be really good. All right, so let me clean that up. And I know what y'all are saying. Y'all are saying right now, wait a minute. I thought we were doing the Murdoch phone calls. Who said that to yourselves? Put a 1 if you said, wait, aren't we doing Murdoch's phone calls? Put a 1 if yes. Put a 2 if no, you're just here for whatever I talk about. Jackie Hughes? Jackie Hughes, says Irene, Yvette. Scarlet Summer, good to see you. Hey, Justice Jane. Love my Charlie Faith says, nope, I'm just here to listen to whatever you want to talk about. Okay, lots of people put ones those. BBT, how are you? You in the jungle, baby. All right. Okay, so I'm sorry. So here's the problem. I saved all the phone calls, right? Saved all the phone calls into a file that says what? Murdoch phone calls, correct? And I sat down here and I got ready to do the live, and guess what? There's not a single recording in my file that says phone calls. And I have no idea where they went. So that they saved somewhere, right? They're somewhere, and maybe they just saved like in my OneDrive and didn't go on my local drive. I don't know. But I didn't discover they weren't there until I got ready to go live. So I'm kind of winging it right now. Okay, so I am going to do the phone calls, and right now it's about 2:30. We'll probably finish up with what I want to do right now, probably finish up at about 3. I'm going to find my phone calls. Maybe, let's see, I bet AK will be like 6 to 7 to 8. Probably around 8 o'clock, I would think he'll be finished, and then I'll be able to do the Murdoch phone calls. Okay, so even if you have to come back and listen to them tomorrow, that's not a big deal. That'll be fine. Okay, all right. Wait, is it Murdoch, Murdog, Murdo, or Murduh? Well, you left out the one that's right, BBT. The one that's right is Murdoch. That's what he himself says with his own voice. His name is Alec Murdoch. It is not Murdog. It's Murdoch. Yep. Old South, I suppose. For example, like if you look at the chat. Oops. Okay, so I just put in somebody's name, right? That's someone's name. Well, how would you say that? Herbert, right? In truth, that's Bear if you're from Louisiana. So I would suspect the man knows how to say his own name, wouldn't you? I think he knows how to say his own name. His name is Alec Murdoch. I don't know. I just let people tell me how to say their name and then I say it. I don't worry about the alphabet. All right. Alec Murdoch. All right. Okay, so, and if anybody of you want to know anything about parrots, I'm here to tell you that the word is maw-caw. All right? Maw-caw. That's what it is. Unless you're part of the upper crust and you have an endowment waiting on you, and then it'll be caw. And that's how it is. All right. So for the vernacular of the peasantry, that's a maw-caw. That is a beautiful maw-caw. All right, here we go. So Tristan Bailey, this is one of those crazy cases, again, like Murdoch's case, where there is so much information to share and so much information to talk about. Hours upon hours upon hours, okay? Now, the link that I'm giving to you for Criminality's channel, Teresa's channel, they went through this whole live. I think it was like 2 or 3 hours long, right? And not with a lot of fluff, jabber. They were on content, right? They were given facts for 2 or 3 hours. And so I'm giving you the link to that video specifically. It was done either last night or the night before last. I think it was done the night before last. It has all the facts that anything you could ever want to know about the lead up, the nights of the murders, all that, okay? So it's a really good primer video for starting to listen to the trial testimony and whatnot. So that's why I gave you that video, that link. So don't disregard the link if you're really interested in this case. If for nothing more than just click on the link and go to that video and just watch that one video, just because they compiled all the information from all of the like extended information, the immediate information, the extended information. I mean, there's a lot going on. His own mother got arrested. I think it was obstruction of, maybe it was tampering with evidence. She got a couple of charges for tampering with evidence. Okay, I mean, this is a crazy story. So so you have criminality, Teresa's and Michelle's channel, but the link is going to go specifically to the video that says I can't, I'm gonna block you, BBT. Okay. Don't distract me. So at least click on that link and go listen to Teresa, given the fact, you know, she and Michelle put together this presentation. It was really, really great, the whole thing. So it will get you up to date and ready for the trial itself. And it is another trial very similar to Murdoch's trial in terms of the vast, just extensive amount of information and connected crimes. Even one thing they did not talk much about was Aiden Fucci's dad. His history is so dirty and nasty. So it's a tragic tale. I mean, when you think about Aiden and what he did and his behaviors and the way he behaved and acted, you could get into this long conversation culturally, socially about, well, are you a victim or are you a criminal? You created a terrible crime, but you yourself have a long history of being victimized by your own parents. So how does society look at you? Does society condemn Aiden because he's done these horrible things? Or do they take on a view, a forgiving view, because he himself had been victimized in his childhood? So very complicated, very, very extensive in terms of the amount of information. Okay. All right. So let's listen. Vinny Politano just put this up an hour ago. So let's see what they have to say.
I want to take this time to tell you about another big trial that we're tracking. It's one that's just around the corner. It's down in Florida. It involves the murder of a 13-year-old girl.
One of you demons take my soul.
That is 14-year-old Aiden Fucci appearing very confused during his pretrial hearing on murder charges. A stark contrast to his demeanor while in the back of a police car after being questioned about the disappearance of his classmate, 13-year-old Tristan Bailey.
Having fun in a f***ing cop car.
Yep. Tristan's mom.
Now, at that point, he had not been arrested. I think they were questioning him. Sorry, I'm going to go back and start over because I didn't have my headphones on.
Of a 13-year-old girl.
One of you demons take my soul.
That is 14-year-old Aiden Fucci appearing very confused during his pretrial hearing on murder charges. A stark contrast to his demeanor while in the back of a police car after being questioned about the disappearance of his classmate, 13-year-old Tristan Bailey.
Having fun in a f***ing cop car.
Yep. Tristan's mother reported her missing back on Mother's Day 2021.
We received a call at our 911 communication center from Kristen Bailey's family reporting Kristen missing. And we verified that the last time Kristen had been seen was last night or on Saturday night, early Sunday morning, just after midnight by her family members.
But Tristan didn't remain missing for long.
Tristan Bailey's body that was actually located by a person in the neighborhood, a citizen in the neighborhood, and actually called 911, called the sheriff's office. We went out there and actually processed the body and recovered the body.
Her body was found 6 hours after she was reported missing. She had been stabbed 114 times. Police quickly began to investigate, piecing together a timeline of what happened to her.
She goes out, she meets up with some friends. Apparently, according to investigators, Aiden Fucci is there.
Surveillance video showed Tristan and Aiden walking east in their neighborhood at 12:15 a.m. on May 9th, 2021. Then, a little over an hour later, Aiden can be seen running.
So, it's a little bit confusing to me, the information. Tristan and Aiden did spend time together, but it was only because of a friend knowing Aiden. Like, Tristan and Aiden were not a couple. They weren't like spending time alone together or anything like that. In fact, Aiden had a girlfriend at the time, okay? And Tristan, what was the name of those kids, the two boys that killed their classmate? They had a recording of them in the library while they're planning it. Do y'all remember that? Yeah, he was, yes, that's right, Irene, 15. Yep. Anyway, no, not Columbine. Remember they snuck it, they went to the friend's house, then they left, they drove around for a little while, they had unlocked the downstairs. I think it was in, was it in Indiana or Ohio? And then they went back and Cassie, it was Cassie. Yes. Thank you, Callie Connect. This case reminds me of that case. That they knew, Aiden knew who Tristan was. They had spent some time together, but only in the context of a group of friends. The Scream murders, correct, Bama Cat. Yeah, the names are just escaping me right now. I don't remember what it was, who they were, but I'll look it up. Reminds me of the same thing where and the evidence, the little bit that they have let out into the public at this point, it really does seem like he planned to do this. He wanted this. Like he was telling people that he wanted to kill, and he had these knives and he had little pet names for his knives, and it was the whole thing was pretty dark and sinister. And when you go back, and you'll hear this if you go over to Criminality and listen to Michelle and Teresa, they talk about the text messaging and how it was that Tristan came to even be with this guy that night, right? And it does look like he and another boy set her up. Now, what they don't know legally, law enforcement wise, what they don't seem to really haven't been able to connect the dots on, if the other boy knew that it was a plan for death, but it was definitely a plan to lure her out and get her out and go. And they were smoking CBD oil. So it's sinister. The case is sinister. It's uncomfortable, because it seems like she was targeted and set up, and not like this moment just of just a reactive anger, rage kind of problem. It really seemed like it was planned and executed with this cool detachment, correct? Kind of like my demeanor when BBT comes in and tries to throw me off, and I just very coolly detached and professional, and I just don't let it happen. You know, I stay in control at all moments, right? All right. Okay. I'm watching you, BBT. Behave yourself. All right. Okay, so this case begins on Monday with jury selection.
West, away from where he and Tristan had been walking a short time earlier. And by 3:31 a.m., Aiden returns home with his shoes.
He's carrying his shoes. But if you go back and look at when he was walking or running away, he was carrying his shoes then. And I think they had blood on them. And I think he didn't want to like track the blood showing his way home, right? So I think he took them off. It may have even tried to wash them, maybe in a mud puddle. Maybe there was a lake there. I think there was a lake there, actually. That's what I think happened. Okay, so I think he's carrying them because he either just simply didn't want to leave footprints with the blood that the luminol could pick up, or he washed them to get the blood off of them and then couldn't put them on because they were wet.
In his hands.
Our investigative team is collecting all those leads and processing those leads.
Investigators quickly narrowed in on Aiden Fucci as a suspect and searched.
Okay. This murder happened the early morning hours of May the 9th. He was actually arrested on May the 9th. When they say that they, honed in on him immediately, they're not kidding. He didn't exactly make it hard to do, because in some ways he was bragging, right? He even did like a Snapchat where he's throwing up the peace sign, he's being all disgusting and obnoxious, and he types something like, "Hey, anybody seen Tristan lately?" And that's when he's sitting in the back end of a cop car. Now, he had not yet been arrested. He was being questioned. They drove him and his friend around in the cop car while they were like showing them locations where they went and whatnot. The videos that were made in the backseat of the cop car, the photograph, the selfie of him saying, "Anybody seen Tristan lately?" That was before the arrest, but they did arrest him on that same day.
Searched his home, finding a Buck brand knife sheath and various articles of clothing with blood on them, including a pair of jeans.
Now, this is I didn't realize this was going to be on this one. Okay, so right there is Crystal. That's Mom. Mom is a delicate flower. You know what I mean? Mommy is a delicate little wilting flower. Or not. Because what you're seeing here is the mother of Aiden washing the bloody blue jeans. That's right. They took Aiden to go and do this drive-through, right? And as soon as Aiden left, she goes upstairs. There's a friend there at the house with her. She goes upstairs and starts cleaning, getting rid of evidence. Now I'm going to ask you something. If your 15, 16-year-old son is accused of having something to do with a young woman getting killed, and he's walking around all the time making jokes about killing people, and he has 2 or 3 knives that he loves so much that he gave them nicknames, you go upstairs, you find bloody shoes, bloody blue jeans. What are you going to do? You're going to go, "Oh, you know what I think I'll do? I think I'll get rid of all the evidence for my child because I want him to come back home and sleep in the same house with me." Never mind what you and I are thinking, which is, wow, I would totally turn him in. If there's a young woman who's been killed, he's got to answer for what he did, right? And I would do that. In a heartbeat, I would do that. But let's just play devil's advocate for a minute here. let's just go ahead and take the low road, if you will. No, no, no. I'll never turn my child in for anything because I love my child and I'll protect them no matter what horrible thing they do. But hold on a minute. Does this sound like a kid who is stable? He's nicknaming his knives. He's talking about his one dream is to commit murder, to see what it feels like to watch someone die. And now you've got a young lady missing and bloody blue jeans in your bathroom. You want this kid to come home and sleep in your house with you? So strange. So that is Crystal. And she is, in fact, washing the blood out of blue jeans. And she did get arrested for this.
Various articles of clothing with blood on them, including a pair of jeans Aiden's mother had tried to clean in the sink.
We actually have arrested a suspect by the name of Aiden Fucci.
Fucci was arrested at 3:30 a.m. on May 10th, 2021. He has been
He looks like a smug, obnoxious so-and-so, doesn't he? I hate to sound cold, but we're not just talking about, oh, let me comment on, somebody with a bad attitude. This is a young woman who has murdered 114 stab wounds in her body. 114 stab wounds. She seems to have been the victim of a planned assault and murder. A thrill killing. She was the chosen target for a thrill killing by a 15-year-old. And the mother wants to cover it up. Now, what in the world, what kind of home life do you think was going on that led to a 15-year-old to think, oh, I can kill somebody if I want to? No problem there. I'm special. I'm not going to be held accountable. All I got to do is just ask my mom to help me cover it up and I'm good. How many times have you guys heard me say it? This is how to raise a sociopath. Covering up for your children, sheltering them so that they don't have to answer to corrective feedback by the police or others. It is a lot better to let your kids deal with trouble, let them learn the hard way when they are young and the stakes are not so high. If you're running around all at the school, pointing your finger at teachers, blaming other kids' parents, oh, it was their fault, my little angel never did anything wrong, then you may wake up one day being Crystal Fucci. Maybe your child in the back seat of a cop car being questioned about a dead cheerleader.
charged with first-degree murder, and prosecutors have announced they intend to try him as an adult.
All right, folks, take a look. Trial date, that is Monday, February 6th. They'll start with jury selection. They move fast down in Florida. Of course, you'll see all the big moments here on closing arguments, and Court TV cameras will be inside that courtroom. In the meantime...
All right. We love Vinny Politano, don't we? Yo, Vinny! Okay. All right. So it is going to be a hell of a... it's going to be a hell of a trial. There's no doubt about it. Hey, Parker Marie, welcome. Yeah, good to have you. Hey, Teresa. Going to be a hell of a trial. Already just incredible. The amount of evidence that's been collected. As I said, death penalty is off the table because he was a minor. And here we go. Another crazy kid. It's terrifying, really is terrifying. 114 stab wounds, 42 defense wounds. She put up a hell of a fight. Absolutely, Parker. Yes, she did. We are attending with DV State Domestic Violence Support. Teresa, you'll be there at the trial? Oh my God, Teresa, that's amazing. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Yeah, Peach Jam is going to be there too. I don't know if you know her, but she's going to be there as well. So maybe, is Peach Jam your cousin? That would be such a small world. All right. Okay. So, there you go. Yay. That is so fun. All right. Go. Well, I mean, I don't know that's fun. It's fair. It's, heartbreaking, but I mean, it's cool that you guys are going together and very nice. Very nice. Okay. So we look forward to hearing from you guys. We look forward to that because this is going to be, I'm going to tell you something, Teresa. I think you can pretty well expect the courtroom to be full. I think all those kids that she was in competition cheer with, they have that team mindset. I think they'll all be there. I could be wrong about that, but I could see that happening. I remember one trial where the whole baseball team came. It wasn't just family, the whole baseball team, because the kid was a baseball player. I can see them. Same kind of thing happened with the whole competitive cheer thing. Yep. Okay. So we are looking forward to that. Now then, there are crazy people in the world. You know what I mean? And it does appear to be a crazy lady in Kentucky. Yeah. 31-year-old, let's just call her Brit the Twit. Can we do that? Let's just make it simple. Call her Brit the Twit. Okay? Now, why am I calling her Brit the Twit? Well, because Brit the Twit, who has a 16-year-old son. Okay? This lady has a 16-year-old son. And she is writing love letters to Brian Koberger. I know, there's always one in every group, right? She has actually written to him and said things like that she finds him to be the perfect man, quote unquote. Listen to this. Oh, Brian, you're my divine masculine. Oh, that is hard to understand, isn't it? Fox News said that she had written to him about her feelings. Every day she is writing to Brian Koberger and telling him the depth of her love for him. There have been some days where he has received multiple letters from Brit the Twit. I just want you to just let that sink in, okay? So she did write in one of her letters, oh, I know the last I heard, which was weeks ago, is that Brian was kept isolated from other inmates. I too know what it's like to sleep alone. It's so hard. That letter was dated after midnight on a Friday. This woman is equating her divorce or lack of mate with the same experience that Brian Koberger is having as accused of a quadruple murder in a cold prison in the north of Idaho. I mean, at least she's in Kentucky, right? Sun still shines in Kentucky. In a series of love letters, Britt the Twit gushes over Koberger, declaring him her primary love interest. He's a perfect man. I don't know if Brian is single or if he was single. What? What the hell? What are you talking about, lady? You don't know if he was single? Yeah, so without my shock, let me just read this through. I don't know if Brian is or was single when he supposedly committed the murders. But if I wonder if he and I, well, if we were to ever meet, I don't know, maybe like, I just wonder if he would like me. I think he would like me. We seem to have connected so well. You know damn well Brian Koberger is reading these letters, a man accused of quadruple murder who knows exactly what happened in that house that night. He's reading these letters from this woman and he's thinking, damn, she is crazy. I am glad I am locked up in this jail so she can't come hurt me. That's the thing, y'all, about stalkers. And they don't always have to be romantic stalkers. I mean, I've been stalked by another YouTube creator. Stalking's kind of crazy, right? And the person who is the object of the stalking, they get to feeling really uncomfortable. And they feel like, okay, this is weird. Why is this woman writing to me about maybe we'll meet? If I'm single, maybe we'll connect and we'll make a love connection. Brian, I mean, he's psychopath, but he's not, illogical, correct? He's reading this and he's going, my God, does this woman recognize why I'm in jail? It's crazy to me. The Daily News reported that the woman acknowledged to some of her commenters that she recognized that her feelings were being compared to the romantic feelings that some women had that swooned over Ted Bundy, the notorious 1970s serial killer who confessed to 30 murders. Here's what I got to say, people. There's some really lonely women in the world. There's some really lonely women whose self-esteem is so low that they believe that the only way that they can get male attention is from a man who is incarcerated. Think about it. Is that you got to think about that. What drives a person to look at someone who is locked up in jail, potentially for life, okay? To look at that person as a potential love interest. That is someone who has lost the love wars. That is someone who has not been successful in finding companionship. And companionship doesn't have to be, a tall, dark, handsome stranger. A companionship can be a cute little, lovable little dog that needs you. Companionship can be your bunco group that meets once a week. Companionship can be a YouTube creator, right? In her community. This sounds like to me someone who's might be incredibly lonely and isolated for whatever reason. We don't know what the reason might be, but somehow she's so lonely that she looks at this guy and she says, now there is a guy who has very likely been isolated from every human being around. There is a guy that nobody else would ever want. So he'll probably be really grateful to hear from me. So he's going to be really grateful to hear from me. So shoot, there's a potential love goddess, right? I agree, Marlena, completely with you. I don't know. Would I say lack of self-respect, or would I just say simply lack of identity? No self-esteem, right? No idea how to connect with a person in real life without getting emotionally overwhelmed. I mean, she's never met this man. He's basically, a captive audience. He can't get away from her. And so she's engaging in this, or could be engaging in this real fantasy, writing to him and writing out these beautiful love letters, sort of like a whole Beauty and the Beast kind of. I don't know. Depends on your orientation. Is it going to be Beauty and the Beast, unrequited love with beautiful, music, violins in the background, or it could be something, weird, much worse than that. But how about this possibility? Because remember, I'm not diagnosing anyone. I'm not here diagnosing anyone, nothing like that. So I'm talking about things that might be going on, things that might explain what would make Britt the Twit write this man accused of quadruple murder, who spent weeks destroying evidence. Consciousness of guilt, right? Consciousness of guilt. What's another possibility? Well, how about this? Maybe Britt the Twit is crazy like a fox. Maybe Britt the Twit is not looking for a 5150. Maybe, perhaps, Britt the Twit has a YouTube channel and is looking for content. Maybe this is someone who is pretending to be something they're not, trying to form an alliance with the would-be isolated killer. And if in her mind, if she thinks if she can make friends with this heinous murderer, allegedly, then maybe she gets information that the rest of us don't get. We have seen this before, haven't we? Dare I say it? What? The Chris Watts case, remember? Who remembers Mel and Kel? Good God Almighty. Who remembers Mel and Kel? Do you remember when Critical K befriended Cindy Watts? Do you remember all of that craziness that went on related to these people related in the YouTube sphere befriending the Watts clan, and how much chaos ensued? Do y'all remember that? I remember Mel sending me an email because I got targeted too. They tried really hard to bring me into the fold. And I'll never forget Mel saying, "Oh, well, I could probably get you an interview with Chris." Yeah, we could probably, for sure, I could arrange something and you could do an interview with Cindy, Ronnie, for sure. But we could probably get you in and you could probably get an interview with Chris Watts. And I just said, why? Like, explain to me why I would want an interview with Chris Watts. What in the world could that bozo say on my channel that would be of any interest to anyone? The guy has lied so many times that you can't believe a word he says. Nothing, not a single story that he tells can you consider truthful. You can only go by the information that was released by the cops. Period. That's it. Why do I want to meet a child murderer and sit and let him take the time to get his jollies lying to my face, and then me rush back to my computer breathlessly as I come on to say, guys, I had an interview with Chris Watson. It was glorious to be lied to for 2 hours. No, not me. I told Mel, you got the wrong girl here. No interest in that, none. So yeah, I wonder if that's what's going on with Britt the Twit. If it's not really that she's, fallen in love with her masculine counterpart. I don't know. I hate to even say it. Right? I feel like BBT. I feel like I need to spit after I say it. Okay. But maybe she is ingratiating herself to him, and she is trying to form a relationship like we saw in the Chris Watts case. She's trying to form a relationship with Aiden so that she can get on the inside and then exploit that and make money. Yep. Okay, so what do you guys think? Is Britt the Twit one lonely woman, put a 1, or is Britt the Twit crazy like a fox, and she's just looking to find some information that can be exploited for cash? Put a 2. Oh, right off the bat. Okay, Big Up says 1. Lots of lonely women out there, Big Ups. Parker, Jackie, Lady of Angels, everybody's like, nah, she crazy like a fox. She knows what she's doing. Vicky and me, Micah say that crazy like a fox, Sundown Farms. Yeah, see? Yeah, crazy like a fox. I would want to be far away as possible from someone who committed these horrendous acts resulting in the murders of innocents. Absolutely. Nancy Drew, this young lady was still in high school. She was a child. Sick anyway you slice it. Very true, DB. Very true. Absolutely. Yeah. No, it could be that she's lonely and she's just looking for some companionship, even if it is in the form of a letter. That's a possibility. We know it happens. Scott Peterson has had, offers of marriage. It's crazy. So yes, we know that happens, but because it's so early, this is so early in the process, I'm more of, I bet this is one of our YouTubers. I bet this is one of our social media people that are trying to, get in on the ground floor, make those connections, and, make some cash. That's kind of what I think. She's way too vocal about it. Yes. And she's gushing, right, Parker? She's gushing rather than having a real conversation. She's really, 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 blowing smoke up his behind. Yeah. Trying to make it bigger than what it is. Yeah. What did y'all think about the mom, Crystal, washing out the blue jeans? Scary, right? When I saw that, I thought, that's not someone you're just trying to protect your child from being arrested. Are you going to want him sleeping in your house? Like, do you have a lock on the outside of his bedroom door that you can lock him in to keep the rest of the family safe at night? It's crazy. I know, Big Ups. It's a burden, but someone has to do it. Big Ups. There is a whole psychological dynamic with people who go out of their way to have relationships with people in prison for horrendous crimes. Diane, thank you. Diane has posted the trial link. Thank you so much, Diane. Okay, appreciate that. How would she have access to these letters? Makes sense. Yeah, well, I believe that it was the jail that first broke the story. The jailers took some of the letters and gave them to the press. You can imagine the jail probably isn't happy about this. This isn't what they want. They don't want an inmate getting bags of letters every day, right? So it could be that they're just trying to get her to back off and not do it anymore. Big Ups is living the life of Elvis. Are you going to cover the UK bully case? I don't think I know that one. Have I missed a big case? Let me see. That would be one of those cases I'd like to be able to say I'm going. UK bully? Oh, is that the dogs? Where the dog killed the... Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not what I... Let me look. Hold on. Witness comes forward in the Nicola Bulley, B-U-L-L-E-Y, case as police warn against speculation. Lancashire police said speculation and abuse on social media aimed at people who are merely assisting our inquiry is totally unacceptable. Now, where did they get that idea from? A woman described as a key witness by police searching for missing mother Nicola Bulley has come forward. On Saturday, officers said they wanted to trace a person in a yellow coat seen pushing a baby stroller in the area near where the dog walker went missing. Is that our Michelle that walks her dogs? We must stress that she was very much being treated as a witness and was one of many people in St. Michael's on Friday, January 27th. The inquiries to find Nicola are extensive and will include speaking to as many members of the public as possible. Speculation and abuse on social media aimed at people who are merely assisting our inquiry is unacceptable. Timeline of events. Search teams are trolling the River Wire and surrounding land near St. Michael's on Wire. Nicola Bulley's family and friends have questioned a police theory that the missing dog walker fell in a river. The search for the mother of two has now run for more than a week. Why are you... I already have registered for the Independent. Why is it the Independent is blocking me from seeing the rest of the story? And I don't see where to sign in at. I wonder why it didn't sign me in. Hold on, I gotta log in. Ah! What do you mean it doesn't match? Come on, man. Ugh, I gotta change my password. It's been too long since I was here. Well, I didn't know about this, but now I do. So thank you, Big Ups. I'll definitely look into it. That sounds very interesting. Big Up's opinion is that she fell in the water. No, if she had fallen in the water, the dog would have died saving her. I can definitely believe that, Big Ups. Yeah. At the very least, there would be evidence that the dog had tried, right? The dog would have been soaking wet. You would have seen evidence of the dog trying to get out of the water, claw digs. Yeah, I agree. Cell phone was found next to the bench near the river at St. Michael's. Special dive teams are coming in. They said they could check the river wire in 1 day's time in Lancashire, England. My problem with data is evidence. I'm all about the evidence. There's no track marks. There's no slid marks. There's absolutely nothing. The water was 18 inches. There's no heavy flow in that area. And the dog was dry. There you go. You just answered everything I said. You know the dog would have tried to save her. I mean, we got videos of dogs that are reaching into pools, pulling children out by their neck, right? I mean, we've seen it. So the dog would have tried. It ended up wet, at least. Also, the side of the river, you would have seen those claw marks. The dog either trying to pull her out or the dog trying to pull himself out once she was gone. And you said the water was only 18 inches. Wow. Wow. The dog's leash and lead was found off the dog. So somebody wanted the dog to run away. Yep. Nicola's phone was still on a work conference call, still connected to the work meeting. What? What time of day did this all happen? Wow, I don't know why I haven't seen. Well, I hadn't seen this because I have been just nothing but Murdoch. Murdoch and mall calls. Her friend shares images of her on the day she vanished. Family and friends condemn vile theories as the search continues. Broken CCTV camera would have seen everything, but it was broken. Yeah, what is the vile speculation? Detectives say their working hypothesis was that she had fallen into the river for some reason, adding there was no evidence of anything suspicious or third-party involvement. Bully's friend, Tilly Ann, wrote on Facebook that inappropriate comments online had been causing hurt and distress. Doesn't say what those... And here we go. Y'all hang on. We're going down another rabbit hole. I can't help it. Okay, so she disappeared on January 27th. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. Let me share this picture for those of you that haven't seen it. Am I the only one that hadn't heard of this case? I may be the only one that hadn't heard it. Isn't she beautiful? That is so sad. 45 years old, Nicola Bully. Woman described as key witness by police searching for missing mother. Lancashire police said the woman had gotten in touch very quickly after a photo was released on Saturday, and they stressed that she is being treated as a witness. It came after family and friends of Bully is a mother of 2 kids. It came after family and friends questioned a police theory that she fell into the river wire. Officers who believe the 45-year-old vanished between 9:10 and 9:20 a.m. on January 27th while walking her dog in the village of St. Michael's said that they believe her disappearance was not suspicious, but a tragic case of a missing person. Come on. So silly. All right, so shall we look at the timeline? I wanted y'all to take note. You recognize that we're using someone else's artistic an academic time, right? This whole timeline and article was collected, researched, and produced by Ross McGinnis and Natalie Marchant. Okay? That's who deserves credit. Not for me to go on my channel and read this out like I somehow wrote it, okay? With the camera on my face like I did something special. Someone else is educating us. These two people, Ross and Natalie, they did it. Okay, so that's who deserves the credit. We're being educated here by Ross and Natalie. On Friday, Bully went missing while walking her dog. She was last seen at 9:10 on a towpath in St. Michael's. Mobile phone was found on a nearby bench. Police said it was still connected to a conference call when it was found. That sounds like an abduction to me. If you think that sounds like an abduction, put a 1. If you think it could be that she just had amnesia and wandered off and doesn't know who she is, put a 2. Matt Blanc has information too in his channel and Grizzly True Crime. Hey, I got to tell you, I am 100% fan of Matt Blanc Incorporated. And I love Grizzly too. Don't get me wrong. I'm a member of Grizzly's channel. Okay, so we all have the same ideas, right? We're not being foolish, illogical people. You're not connected to a conference call at work and then just wander away. That's just not right. It's just impossible. Okay. Her dog Willow, a Springer Spaniel, was found loose between the river and bench about an hour after she went missing. Police said Bully dropped off her 2 daughters at school before taking the dog for a walk along the river. And then Saturday and Sunday, which was last weekend, right? Is that right? Last weekend? Yeah. January 28th and 29th was last Saturday and Sunday. So a week from today. Searches were carried out by Lancashire police over the weekend with the helicopter, drones, and police dogs. There was support from fire crews, mountain rescue teams, and underwater search teams. That is so sad and scary. Terrifying. What if it was a wild animal? Look at that surrounding area. Huh. I guess if it had been a wild animal, though, there would have been evidence, right? Blood and whatnot. Monday, police said they're keeping an open mind about what happened. They do not believe Bully was attacked. Why? What makes them say that? What is that? Superintendent Sally Riley said this is not a crime inquiry. What? People do go missing, but clearly as time goes on, we become more and more concerned for Nicola. I'm really concerned for Nicola. It's terrifying. Ensel, an engineer who had been in a relationship with Bully for 12 years, said, "This is perpetual hell. It is just utter disbelief. It doesn't feel real. All we can say is we need to find her. She's got 2 little girls that need their mummy home. We have got to get some good news now." Police said on Tuesday a potentially key witness has been located. Earlier, police said the man who was walking a small white fluffy dog on a lead had spoken to a woman in the area who found Bully's dog before he walked in the direction of Rowan Water. Huh. See, could have been an animal. Are there bears? I don't know what kind of wildlife there are in England. It's sort of reminiscent of Delphi too, isn't it? The area, I'm talking about the landscape. On Wednesday, Kev Kaplan of Boland Pennine Mountain Rescue said the grounds of a large abandoned house were being searched along with a 4-mile stretch of river and wooded area. Meanwhile, Heather Gibbons, a friend of Bully's, told Sky News, "We just know that if she could be at home with her girls, we very firmly believe that's where she would be. Her family are everything." Thursday, February the 2nd, Bully's family urged people who may know something about her disappearance to come forward. Her sister, Louise Cunningham, told Sky News, "There has got to be somebody who knows something, and all we are asking is, no matter how small or big, if there's anything you remember that doesn't seem right, please reach out to the police. Get in touch and get my sister back." That looks pretty deep, doesn't it? Bully's partner, Paul Ansel, speaking to broadcasters, said, "Every single scenario comes to a brick wall. Every single one of them. All we are doing is sitting there going round and round and round through each scenario." He added he was focusing on looking after their 2 children. I guess that's Ansel. Yes, it's Paul. Paul Ansel. Paul, all I got to say, buddy, is we don't want any women coming out of the woodwork. You know what I mean? You're going to be in a lot of trouble if some little friend of yours comes out and gives a press conference. Remember Scott Peterson? In a press conference later, police said their main working hypothesis is that she fell into the river while walking the dog, and that there is no third party or criminal involvement, and that this is not suspicious but a tragic case of a missing person. Superintendent Sally Riley said investigators had eliminated any trace so far of Nicola having left the riverside. Yesterday, Bully's sister, Louise Cunningham, urged people to keep an open mind. She wrote on Facebook, "Off the back of the latest police media update, please can I add there is no evidence whatsoever that she has gone into the river. It is just a theory." Bully's friend Emma White also cast doubt on the police theory, telling Sky News it was based on, quotation marks, limited information. Officers launched an appeal to trace a woman seen pushing a baby stroller in the area near where Bully went missing, describing her as a key witness. Looks like an irrigation ditch, doesn't it? That is a very, very, very rural area. Sunday, that's today, February 5th, there was a woman that came forward. Police call on the public to avoid conjecture and abuse online. The speculation and abuse on social media aimed at some people who are merely assisting our inquiry is totally unacceptable. A gathering was held at St. Michael's Church in Lancashire to light candles for Bully as the search continues. Church is located near the primary school where Bully had dropped off her 2 children. If the dog goes in the river, don't try and save the dog. I guess that means let the dog swim, because that dog might show you where the body's located. Heartbreaking. That bench location looks super creepy. Me, I had the same exact thought. Looks like Delphi. Scary looking. All right, there you have it, peeps. That is terrifying. She's wearing the checked Illuminati tie scarf. All right, wow, so sad. Oh, that must have been a Bobby. That was a police. This is her right here. All right, wow, that is very sad. Very, very sad. Okay. He is the father of the 2 children, though, it sounds like. She was supposed to be at a spa with her sister that weekend for relaxation and rest. Do we know what happened that she did not go on the trip with her sister? I agree, Annette. Yes. They are not married, but he is the father of the children, and they lived together for 7 years. There you go, Barbara. Yep. Hey, Scottie Nona. Will you be covering the West Boys trial? Oh, Marlena. Yes, I went way down that rabbit hole, right? It was the search and the before they finally arrested, the parents, the adoptive parents. Um, I got a couple of problems with covering it. Number one, it's California, and I'm in Texas, and so to try to like follow the trial is going to be really hard to do because it's going to run into what is my nighttime, so that's going to be hard. The other thing is, do you remember how crazy things got with the money? Do you remember all that happening, or maybe you never knew about it? It was a case that was like Summer Wells, right? It had attracted a great deal of attention from people that felt motivated to give money. And it resulted in tens of thousands of dollars, literally. Tens of thousands of dollars being collected and then not handled responsibly in terms of it being public funds, right? So here's my fear, Marlena. I would want to cover it because I am, one of my soapboxes is the whole foster care system. And that I don't care what state you're in. I'm familiar with 4 different states, and every one of them is a disaster in terms of administration for child care. So I would want to follow it from that perspective, but I'm hesitant to do that because I just don't want to deal with all that drama, right? It's going to be a case that is going to evoke so much drama on the YouTube thing. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. So, y'all know me. I learned a long time ago there are unscrupulous people, creators that are on here, and a lot of them will set you up and create a problem for you in your own channel. Some of it is hard to recover from because people don't really want to hear logic. They like the drama wars, So I try really hard to avoid all that. And I'm afraid that it would be hard to do. I don't know. I may change my mind, Marlena, once it gets going. I may do it. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Because like I said, it is one that I'm really familiar with. I was way down in that rabbit hole. And then they got arrested, and I think that's kind of where I dropped off. When they got arrested, I went on to other cases and whatnot. But I might. But right now, we got murder going on. That's going to be going on forever. Koberger is going to die down for a little while. But I think when Koberger dies down for a little bit, then we're going to be moving into the Chad Daybell trial. So that will come at about the same time Koberger is going to be dying down before his trial. And then we got the active trial going on of Aiden Fucci. So I don't know, we'll see. There's an awful lot going on. It's impossible to cover every one. The only way that I could see that you would be able to cover every one is if you had people that were always like on your panel. And you could say, okay, well, which trial do you want to cover? You collect your information, make a presentation tonight. You report on the West Boys. You report on Fucci. You report on Koberger, and kind of let other people report on your channel, with the information. But I've not really ever done that on my channel. I don't really have panels and things like that. So, I mean, if somebody wanted to do that, if you want to cover the West case and you want to come up on panel and talk about what you learned, what you heard in trial, whatever, then I would absolutely be happy and willing to do that. I mean, it would be fun for sure. Maybe a West Case overview rather than a deep dive. Sure, Sketty Nona. Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of like we did today with Tristan. Yeah, the Koberger case it's going to be long. It's going to be drawn out. But we're moving along now, I think, with Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. I know that Lori has asked to have her case thrown out, but they'll never do that. I guess we should call it trial season, right? We're in trial season. Oh, okay, so they did deny it, Parker? Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a long shot. It was an absolute long shot. 5 weeks until the Daybells. All right. We are at 3:35. I said I was going to be done about 3. So, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me know, Parker. I had not known that they had ruled on it. The level of crazy in Daybell case is mind-blowing. It is completely, that's a big case for me to cover because of the mental health issues, possibilities, the interactive effects that get into relationship dynamics and systems theory. That's the case I really want to cover. Same way with Stout. Her case, it has got that similar personality disorder problem, you know. So, but for sure the Daybell case, I mean, I'm there, right? Do you want to be a Mormon? I have the song. One day we'll all sing it together. So definitely looking forward to that. We got to finish up with Murdoch. Of course, Murdoch, there'll be other cases because he's got more than 100, more than 100 charges, financial crimes, graft, and corruption. So he'll be a long time. Do you want to be a Mormon? Do, 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 do. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Boy, that is not a nice guy. Chadster, you didn't raise a nice son. Okay, I'm just putting it out there in the universe. I know you'll never hear this because you're locked up in jail forever. But nevertheless, yeah, your son is not a nice guy. He's dishonest, actually. All right. Thank you, Sundown Farms. You're awesome. All of you are awesome. I appreciate y'all so much. So fun to be able to come on here and talk with y'all about the things that we're interested in. And a special thank you to Big Ups for bringing us the case of Nicola Bulley in the United Kingdom, because we don't often notice those crimes, but they're just as impactful as what we're experiencing, on the North and Central and South continents, so American continents. So thank you, Big Ups. I appreciate that. Nancy Drew, how are you? I was singing the other day and didn't know my kids could hear me. The look on their faces was priceless. I love kids. They're so cute. Okay. Let's finish with oh my gosh, now that song is playing over and over in my head. Oh, maybe I killed it. No, there it is. Do you want to be a Mormon? Okay, Mr. AK Rocks. He and the FBI will be rocking tonight at 6 o'clock Texas time. That is only 2.5 hours from now, people. 2.5 hours. That's all the time you have to get ready for the YouTube blockbuster AK Rocks presentation. Dun, Okay, I'll never hit that high C. All right, anything else? Already did Tristan. I want to remind you about the video that I gave you for Tristan Bailey with criminality. Whoops. With criminality and Me Amour Michelle. And Peach Jam and Teresa Fountain will be in the courtroom. All right. Anything else? You take care. I'll be watching the replay to catch up. I hope I'll see you with AK tonight, Sketty Nona. Thank you, Teresa. Hey, Claire Virgo. Hope you'll go back to the beginning. We had a good show. I would guess Daybell has 5 victims: Alex, Charles, Tammy, Tylee, and JJ. That are under indictment, but I mean, there's suggestions that she, killed Tylee's dad and her first husband. What's his name? It's a Spanish name. I used to be able to list all of her married names. I can't remember. I'll have to refresh that when the trial starts up. Hey, Honey K. Hey, Tennessee Volunteer. And we'll keep an eye on the Nicola bully case. I was looking for something, but I can't. Here it is right there. Please leave a comment under the video. And sorry, I'm distracted. If you can't tell, I'm not in the middle of a stroke. I'm distracted by something here. Yeah. All right. Thumbs up gets me into the algorithm. Leave a comment under the video, even if it's your shopping list. And make sure you hit the bell so you get all notifications. I had fun today. Thank y'all so much.